Today's participation grade is going over how to do an assignment that is in a Google form. Okay, first of all, the biggest thing you need to do is take your time. So when you open up the Google form and you go through it, yes, it's all going to be multiple choice. Sometimes we'll probably add in something that you'll have to write, but for now it's going to be multiple choice until we get used to this. Don't rush it. You have all week to do your warm-up. Okay, so I suggest to take a piece of paper, read the question, and write it down. Okay, if you can't just read the question and write it down on a piece of paper, then print the page. Okay, easy. All you have to do is right click, go over to where it says print, hit print. Once you get the preview, you can scroll down. There's page 1, there's page 2, page 3. Say you're stuck on this question, only print that page. If you can't print that page, you can still do the problem, okay? If it's this problem and you're stuck, draw it out on a piece of paper, okay? Do not try to do this in an hour. Do not try to do it in 30 minutes. Take your time. Get a piece of paper, write down number 1. Number 1, you think number 1 is D, okay? Go on to number 2, figure out number 2. Write down number 2 you think is A. Number 3, say you're stuck on number 3. Skip it, then go to number 4. You're not filling out your form right now, you're just writing this on a piece of paper. Go to number 4, figure out number 4, okay? Then take a break. If you're stuck, take a break, come back. You can do 1 problem a day. You can do, well, no, not really 1 problem. You'd have to do 2 problems a day to get it turned in by Friday. Or actually Sunday, you have till Sunday, so that's a long time. You could actually do 1 problem a day, then 2 the next day. But write it on a piece of paper, then come back after you have all the problems done on a piece of paper, come back and answer your form. Take your time slow because you don't submit your form until you go back and forth saying, yes, I did all the correct answers, and then you hit submit. This is a kind of a life lesson. When you get into colleges and when you take certification tests, a lot of the certification tests are online. So if you get in a hurry and just start click, 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 and hit submit, and you missed a few, they don't let you go back and take the test again. Once you hit that submit button, they're going to ask you, are you sure? You say yes, and you're done. So do not rush these forms. Take your time, write it on a piece of paper, come back, then fill out your Google form. So for your question for today, and the only way you can get this right is if you watch the video. So to answer your question, what should you do when filling out a Google form assignment? 1, and you can write this down so you get the answer correct. 1, take your time. 2, write your work on a piece of paper so you know it's right. 3, if you get stuck, take a break and come back later. 4, once you're completely done with all your answers, come back and fill in your form. And 5, don't hit submit until you're positive you're done. And the last thing, if you have a question, ask me. If you don't get an immediate answer, don't do the paper until you do get an answer from me. So with all this being said, and if you watch this video, then you'll know that for this week only, since this is our first online assignment through a Google form, you can do corrections on your form, and there is a correction form on Google Classroom. It is right here, corrections for week 27 warm-up. This form right here is your corrections form. So you fill out your name. There's the problem. You do not have to answer. You can answer the problem again. But in this problem 1 corrections, if that's the one you missed, write out your new answer. Explain something. Explain the new answer. Just don't go D, C, B. Explain the answer. If you explain your answers, I will give corrections up to the full amount. Meaning, if you got a 70 and you did corrections and they are done correctly where you're writing out the answer, you missed it because you did not make sure these equals. You missed it because you did not find the slope of the line. You missed it because you thought 160 was the line and not the area of the box. So, for instance, if you have a 70 and you do the corrections correctly, I will give you 100. This is the only week I'm going to give you full credit for corrections. So, with that being said, answer your question. If you want your better grade, do the corrections, fill it out, complete them, and I'll give you full credit.